Welcome to the Courage to Live podcast. My name is Josh Bitsko. I'm a retired police captain with 24 years of experience out of Las Vegas. Currently, I travel the country and I teach people about courage, resilience, and leadership. So, today I'm going to talk about burnout. And I'm sure anybody listening to this podcast, whatever industry you're in, has felt burnt out at times. I know there's times in policing, especially when I was a captain, I would just be in meetings all day, then I get called out at night, and that pattern would repeat, and I would just feel completely burnt out. Same thing owning a small business. And there's times that I'm up, editing a podcast or creating content or doing marketing or whatever that is, and I can just feel that I'm just, not there, that I'm completely burnt out. And it comes to mind that the idea that I know I know a lot of police officers that I'm friends with and people in business that they really put themselves last. They give everything they have to their family, their kids, their spouse, their job. And by the time they get to themselves, there's very little energy left. And I'm a believer that the biggest thing that we can do to prevent burnout is self-care. And self-care, you Google it, you come up with any number of things. It can be massages, it could be goat yoga, whatever it is. But my definition when I teach for self-care is doing what fills your soul. So that could be, it could be exercise. It could be hikes in nature. It could be spending time in the gym, martial arts, going to jujitsu, whatever it is that fills your soul. What I ask is making sure you make time for that, because if your cup is empty, you're going to have a hard time filling anybody else's cup up. And I mean, what does burnout look like for you? For me, I find that I'm, kind of living like a zombie, or I am irritable, just, not really enjoying life, just kind of going through the motions. And I'll tell you, I'm lucky enough to have a partner in Jenna that recognizes it, tells me to kind of knock it off and, hey, you're going to go train this weekend with your friends. Or, you're going to go up to the mountain. There's a mountain close here to Las Vegas, and spend some time up there, whether it's reading or, whatever it is that you want to do, hiking. But she usually is really good at checking me on that. And then I try to do the same thing for her. But because she has, on top of running a business and doing all the things that she does, she also is a mom. And that it's just different being a mom and a dad, that she has different responsibilities than I do. I try to help out as much as I can, but sometimes, the kids will come up and ask her something directly in front of me. And I'm like, hey, I'm here. I can help you with that too. But it's really important to really combat burnout. And there's a couple of ways that you can, right? It's checking in with yourself regularly. Not just, oh yeah, no, I'm good, I just have to finish this and tomorrow I'll be fine and can spend some time for myself, but having an honest check-in, like, how are you really feeling? The other thing, like I mentioned earlier with Jenna, listening to your family and friends, because they can really see it generally before you do. Have you ever heard of the boiling frog effect? I had a sergeant when I was a young officer, and he was talking about it in the realm of misconduct in policing and briefing. And he's like, if you take a frog and you put it in a pot of water that's boiling, the frog will immediately jump out. You take the same frog and you put it in a pot of cool water, and then you slowly heat up the water, the frog will boil alive. Now, I don't think there's any scientific basing to that, but the idea is true, right? It's these small little changes. You're slowly working more. You're slowly spending more time for everybody else and not yourself. And you just don't realize that you find yourself in that pot of boiling water and it'll burn you alive. The other thing is, prioritizing these small resets, sleep, nutrition, movement, having downtime, whatever that means to you. Those help recharge your batteries. They fill your cup like we just talked about. But at the end of the day, it really does, it is work to prioritize yourself, because, in today's day and age, we just find ourselves working nonstop. We're always connected. I remember my dad used to say, well, back when I was a lieutenant, I was able to make all your games and I wasn't so stressed out when I was at home and all of that stuff. I'm like, yeah, Dad, they didn't have smartphones when you were a lieutenant. Hell, they didn't even have cell phones when you were a lieutenant. And I go, oh, well, that's a really good point. One of the few times when it came to that stuff that he said that I was right. But we are always connected, whatever your industry is. And, something as simple as checking emails at night can put you back into that work mode and take you away from, that time that you're using to reset, spending with family, or even watching sports on TV, whatever it is for you. So that's my challenge for you guys this week is if you want to prioritize yourself, again, small changes. I'm not asking you to change everything about your life, but maybe taking 15, 20 minutes to read if that's what you enjoy doing, or playing a video game, or watching something mindless on TV, going for a walk, but prioritizing yourself over everybody else will make you more present for those people that are important in your lives. Well, thank you for spending time with me today. If you enjoyed the podcast, please share it with a friend or subscribe, leave a review down below. And thank you for listening.